down at the beach and I just noticed something really interesting. It's low tide, although we're sort of in the mid-tide line where I'm standing. And I think I'm going to take a little bit home and see if it could fertilize my garden. It's not seaweed. Today we are celebrating. I have the most exciting news, in my opinion, to share since I started my pumpkin and watermelon growing challenge. I cannot wait to show you. Wasn't going to film a video today. I say that too often. But before we check out the amazing development in the watermelon or pumpkin world, let's celebrate. Today we celebrate. There has been some success that is a long time coming in the garden. I cannot wait to show you. And let's take a look. We are about to venture into the vegetable garden and check out the latest development that I cannot wait to share with you. If you recall, in some of my previous vegetable garden updates and growing the biggest pumpkin and watermelon challenge, up until now I have not seen any sprouts from my Dill's Atlantic Giant seeds. I'm using Mary's Heirloom Seeds to attempt to grow the biggest watermelon and pumpkin in the world, and also to participate in her watermelon and pumpkin growing challenges. And today, let me share with you the most exciting news. I do believe I have a Dill's Atlantic Giant sprout. I am so excited. This is actually in a different location. This was where I seeded them the second time, like a week and a half ago or so. The first one was over in this direction. I had split this soaker hose in half and did half with my Big Max pumpkin and half with Dill's Atlantic Giant. And coming this way, where I would have expected to see seed sprouts, there have been none until today on the other end where I planted away from this hose. There's my original, this is the pumpkin Big Macs we transplanted a week and a half ago or something. Like that, it is still doing okay. I am so excited about my new Dill's Atlantic Giant Sprout that I feel like I need to shower the plants in some kind of gift, and let's see what we can shower them with. Somebody just arrived. Thank goodness he doesn't fully aware of what's going on with my garden. He's looking for something to get into. This cannot be good news. So now we are going to use my 3-liter watering can and give my brand new Dill's Atlantic Giant Sproutling some food in the form of liquid fertilizer. I've talked about some of my water-soluble fertilizers here before, and I've added one more to my fertilizing regime that we haven't talked about yet. This is rock phosphate from Reindeer's Plant Foods. It's a local company. I am not sponsored. Rock phosphate is an awesome fertilizer for plants. It does encourage flowering, among other things. A lot of trace elements in this fertilizer. It is 100% organic, and I pretty much never follow the instructions on containers. For most things, I don't follow instructions. This is what it looks like. It's actually really beautiful. No odor at all. So I put a teaspoon or tablespoon in my watering can. Not sure if this is a teaspoon or tablespoon. And lately I have been mixing it with my famous seaweed fertilizer, also from Reindeer Plant Foods on Vancouver Island. Again, they have not paid me to talk about this. It is literally my favorite fertilizer. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. I like to call it black gold. I put 1 to 2 spoonfuls into my 3-gallon watering can. We're going for 2 today because we are celebrating this seedling's late sprouting. And supervisor thinks I am giving him a dose of fertilizer. That is not true. And try not to get ourselves too wet in the process, and supervisor just gave my camera a little tilt. You can have a little commercial break and check out what he is up to while I fill the watering can. This is what he loves to do, drink from hoses. He's definitely a hose man. I don't love it because I don't know how clean how chemically the hose is, but he absolutely loves it, so why not let him enjoy his life? Since we've got the watering can out, I'm going to go ahead and give some of my other plants and sprouts some water, and we can take a look at what's been happening. I just noticed, I think supervisor did something when I wasn't looking. I'm quite certain he was the one who just took my protection off of my Big Mac's pumpkin. I have not seen him do that before. That does scare me a little bit. So if he's learned how to remove my protectors from my plants, I am in trouble. That is not good news. Although I shouldn't blame him so quickly because I didn't actually witness it. It is possible some other creature or something, maybe the wind, although I don't know how a wind could knock over metal, but you never know. It is a little windy, so maybe something else moved my supervisor protection. I don't know. Maybe there's other creatures out here that I'm unaware of that have been playing in the garden. Anyways, back to business. Since we are at the pumpkin Big Mac's area, here we have my most vigorous pumpkin plant out of all of my pumpkin plants. This pumpkin Big Mac's is doing so well. I swear this plant has a drinking problem, Well, I did think about mulching, and I might still mulch. I can literally give this plant, I'd say 3 to 6 gallons of water, and it will still suck it up. Like, it is insane. I'm not sure why it is such a water hog, but I'm not complaining because it's doing so well that I will give it 2 or more watering cans of water and fertilizer every day. And here's the neighbor that was nibbled a while ago by some unknown source. Both of these plants are quite thirsty most days. This is my 3rd pumpkin Big Macs that I had transplanted in a video about a week and a half ago. I've been experimenting with different mulches in my garden. These leaves that you see under my pumpkin Big Macs are literally from my bamboo bushes. They shed a lot of leaves throughout the year. I leave them on the ground, and I've decided to start utilizing them as mulch. I'm basically split testing 3 or more varieties of mulch in my garden this season. Let's give this guy a drink. We are now in a different quadrant of the garden. This is where I have a Chicago hardy fig tree, a columbine, crocosmias, and potato plants. And I just decided to try using the same cedar mulch that I use in my rock garden and around other areas of the yard in the vegetable garden. I rarely ever do this. I did it one year significantly and I killed a few plants, so you do have to be careful with cedar bark mulch. Some plants love it, some plants hate it. I don't think I've ever mulched it on potatoes before, so it's kind of an experiment. I'm just split testing around the garden to see how plants react to this mulch. And then I'll know in the future which plants like it and which plants hate it. So we'll just give these guys a little drink. Here we are in a different quadrant of the garden. Supervisor is attempting to get into my compost bin. And I have split tested this cedar mulch on a squash plant. Not zucchini and not pumpkin, but this is some form of squash. It might be spaghetti squash, not 100% certain. But I did put a nice layer of mulch here, the cedar mulch, so we'll see how that works out. Venturing towards the watermelon section of the garden now, and we'll take a look at what's going on here. Once again, I'm split testing mulches in the garden right now. I've used cut up garbage bags, just regular old black garbage bags. I've cut holes. Oh dear, I might have screwed this up. I cut holes in the garbage bag and sort of put them around my watermelon seedlings, both to control weeds as well as to generate heat. I thought black material might radiate heat more than just pure soil, so I'm trying that out. I might actually extend this coverage of bag material further into the garden. I'm just sort of seeing how the plants respond to it first, the few surviving plants. So let's give this guy a drink. This is one of my Desert King watermelon seedlings. Beside it we have a Desert King that is on life support but still clinging to life. You will remember from my last video we had a lot of watermelon deaths in the last week. Watermelon seeds, watermelon sprout deaths we had. Coming this way, another Desert King watermelon sproutling is still doing okay. Also trying out the mulch technique here with the garbage bags. Giving it some fertilized water. Next, these are the Georgia rattlesnake watermelon plants that I'm attempting to grow for Mary's Heirloom Seeds Grow a Giant Watermelon and Pumpkin contest. and if possible grow the biggest one in the world. So here we have another bit of mulch split testing. My seedling is over here. I did leave a pretty big gap, but the plant's gonna grow. So that's my watering hole in the dirt, zipper protection, and some black material to help further increase the growth. I do have the greenhouse on sometimes it's open. This guy is looking for trouble. So let's water these guys. Next, we have another watermelon that is clinging to life. This is one of the Georgia rattlesnake watermelons. This watermelon plant is definitely on life support. We'll give it a little boost. Next, these guys, also rattlesnake watermelons. These ones here, these two, are doing particularly well. We'll give them a drink of the fertilized water. They're pretty thirsty actually too. The water absorbs really fast. And this one is doing okay too, just really slow to grow. And then we have two seedlings in here. Again, they are both pretty healthy, just slow growers. Give them a little drink of water. Cover this guy back up. Next, we're going to check out my watermelon Blacktail Mountain. If you recall, in my last video, I had about 5 or 6 plants here. They are all gone. There is only one plant that survived, which is right here, being protected by a spaghetti strainer. I planted a stray strawberry plant beside it. And let's give them some water. My bees are still not climbing, and I'm starting to wonder if they were mislabeled. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this here might be the beginning of a tendril. I was starting to think that maybe they were actually bush beans and not climbing beans, but it's possible they are climbing beans. Right below where I was previously standing, this little section of the garden in triangular formation, I have planted some marigolds, quite a few actually. These are petite yellow and one variety called sparkly. So I'm going to water the dirt. It's going to look like I'm not watering anything at all, but there are seeds in here. A little further over from my bean trellis, I have these beans, which actually were labeled as bush beans. So that's why there's no trellis here. And I did interplant them with a different marigold, some of which have sprouted and are growing already, as well as a few weeds in here. One more drink for my Dill's Atlantic Giant. I cannot help but celebrate the birth of this pumpkin plant. I am so excited. I've been topping up a few of my potato plants with more dirt. They're growing in the new section of the garden where the soil is much lower, the soil level, than my old section. So I had some spare dirt kicking around, so I just added it to the base of these plants. He is getting me super wet. Oh my god. This is his idea of a good time. I just got water all over my eye and my camera. We are going to give my sick watermelons an intervention today. I have a mystery substance in this bag, and it's a mystery to me too. And I'm going to give them an intervention and hope for the best. Fingers crossed. I'll give you a sneak peek into this mystery substance now. Down at the beach, and I just noticed something really interesting. It's low tide, although we're sort of in the mid-tide line where I'm standing. And I think I'm going to take a little bit home and see if it could fertilize my garden. It's not seaweed. There's this whole line of what appears to be some type of silt. It's actually not super common on beaches here. We've got leaves over here. Then there's seaweed. There's like some mud over there. But this is like silt. So I've got a dog bag. You know what you normally use those for. I'm going to put a little bit of silt in here and take it home and try it as a fertilizer in my garden. Take a bit. This is what it looks like. It looks like maybe sawdust that's been in the ocean for a while. Not sure, but it looks cool. I'm going to try this out on the garden. We are headed to visit our sick watermelon plants and give them an intervention. On this side, these are my Georgia rattlesnake watermelons that I'm growing for Mary's Heirloom Seeds, growing a giant watermelon and pumpkin contest. Many of them are doing well, they're just slow to grow, but we do have one in this corner that is pretty much, I want to say, on significant life support. Let's take a closer look. There is still some nice new growth coming out of this leaf here, so there is hope. It is clinging to life. We are going to give it this mystery substance from this doggy bag. Let's take a look at the substance. You would have just watched a clip of me collecting this on the beach. This is what it looks like. It is absolutely gorgeous. I have a feeling it might be fermented wood chips or shavings. They sometimes wash up on our beaches because the forestry industry is so big on Vancouver Island that I think a lot of the waste material ends up in the ocean. So I'm going to assume that's probably what it is, although I don't know for certain. And we're going to use it as a mulch fertilizer around these plants. Could be good, could be bad. It probably has salt in it, which, depending on the concentration, could kill the plant. But it probably has a lot of other micronutrients too, so this could go either way. Totally experimental. Might be the best thing I've ever done, or might be the worst. But these plants are on life support anyways, so if they do pass away, it's not the end of the world. Swinging around from my rattlesnake watermelon to my other watermelon quadrant, this is the Desert King section. Here is my healthy one, and right beside it is another one that is pretty much on life support in this little protection I've got. So we're going to give this guy a little bit of this mystery material as well. Just put it right around the plant, and I'm going to give you an update in the next video, and you can see what the results are, if we know by then if this is going to be positive or negative for these plants. There we go. I am going to water in this mystery substance so the plants can either have a good start or a bad start from it. I'm going to water in this one as well on my rattlesnake watermelon that is on life support. Just for fun, I am going to mulch one of my Big Max pumpkins, also from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, with this mystery substance, fertilizer, mulch, whatever it is that I found on the beach. We are going to put it around the base of this pumpkin plant and cross my fingers, because these are plants I'm using in the contest to grow the most giant pumpkin in the world and for Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and hope this has a positive effect on the plants. I might regret this, but we're gonna find out in a week or two. Just like my watermelons, I am going to water this mystery substance into the ground and let the plant start absorbing whatever it is. thank you so much for watching my little vegetable garden update. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any future watermelon or pumpkin growing updates. And we will see you in the garden very soon. Have a good day.